Okay, back to reading my DBT stuff. I think I'm on video number 6. So, I already tried this once, then I digressed, or who knows what I did. But I'm just gonna do that disclaimer again. I was a DBT patient and not any kind of counselor or therapist. What else? Yeah, so obviously I've got some glitches, and but I'm not a dumb person. I'm bright, and previously I was licensed as a licensed massage therapist. Not only that, but in a fairly large massage class, I was one of the top couple of people in my class, and one of the first couple of people that walked out of the boards, the written boards anyways. And I guess I got a good enough test score too. Like the written board I remember being really confident on, but the practical board I really thought I flunked. So I was pretty surprised when I got my license, and who knows why I got my license briefly. Anyway, but I really enjoyed the massage community where I got my license. I did not really enjoy the massage communities in the other places, and therefore I'm glad that I went to massage school, because it was a beginning step in my healing myself. Oh, because massage, when it's done by an ethical therapist, provides safe, non-sexual touch, and having that touch all over your body or in whatever areas you need. And there's over 150 modalities of massage, modalities being different ways that you can be massaged. You can be massaged as lightly as something like this, which is going to activate your lymph system and get your lymph system to flow, which of course then you can have shaking done. That's a form of massage. You can have someone whacking on you in a variety of ways. You know, somebody like do Rolfing. That's the ones that you usually see on TV where they're like, oh, in James Bond movies. This girl that got Rolfed in my class, she said that she vomited immediately. And there was black and blue all over her. That's good. She said she liked it. And my understanding is that Rolfing is good for people that are like emotionally jammed. And it involves like actually lifting up the whole body of the muscle on the bone where it lays and then kind of moving it. That's what I understand about it. But I just had brief training. So, I'm not a jack of all trades. I'm a wingnut of all disciplines. Introduction handout, growing your comfort zone. There is a time for comfort and a time for challenge. A balanced life needs times of learning, growth, and change, countered by times of soothing familiarity and ease. Imagine all the aspects of your life that provide you with comfort. These fit inside the innermost circle in the diagram here, the comfort zone. So here's our circle. So you have your comfort zone in the very center, and then around that, like a donut, you have the learning zone, and then around that whole scene, like a teething ring or something, you have the panic zone. And then outside of the panic zone, I think of as like a zone where you're gonna have some kind of behavior, pretty much guaranteed, that you might not feel like super cool about. Which I'm pretty happy to report, most of the time. And even so, even when I was in the whack house, like as a teenager, I mean, I saw a lot of people, and no judgment, get hauled off by large amounts of staff, but there's really no point to that. There is no point. But there is point to this. So, carry on. Onward. So, the balanced life situation. Imagine all the aspects of your life that provide you with comfort. These fit inside the innermost circle in the diagram here, the comfort zone. The comfort zone looks different for each individual, but examples include chatting with friends, hanging out in your pajamas, watching a movie from the couch, and eating your favorite food. The comfort zone includes low-stress activities that you have done a million times because you enjoy them and feel calmed by them. Life is easy in the comfort zone unless you get stuck there. Life in the comfort zone can start to feel cramped and limiting if you get stuck in a rut. A low level of agitation may develop. The activities that have been soothing may start to lose their appeal. They don't have to, but they may. This happens if it has been a while since you've had a growth experience by trying something new, learning a new skill, or examining your life for ways to change or improve the way you live. When this happens, you are rubbing up against the border between the comfort zone and the learning or growth zone. So, kind of like there's the comfort zone, so when you start to feel agitated, you're right here. Because getting into the learning zone, you're going to be alert. You're not going to be laid back like you are when you're just chatting with your friends and stuff. Or like when I'm chatting with myself or to my dog. I'm in my comfort zone. I'm pretty much comfortable most of the time, except for when I'm uncomfortable. Then I'm not comfortable. So, like when you're having tribulations or being forced to suffer, it sucks, doesn't it? It does suck. But it's also a good thing because you're in the learning zone. And if you suffer too much, you go into the panic zone, you stop learning, and you just get panicky. All of us have different areas where this happens. Now, where the heck was I in my page? There. So when this happens, you are rubbing up against the border between the comfort zone and the learning or growth zone and are experiencing useful anxiety, eustress. There's distress and eustress. So at this point, you're experiencing eustress. We are experiencing eustress. At this point, the only way to relieve the anxiety is to move into the learning zone. Well, the only healthy way, because we already learned, if we watch the other video, that rules are made and everything has exceptions. So, anomalies. The learning zone is... Lots of anomalies are very nice. People, situations. Or seem very nice. Sometimes not. The learning zone is characterized by uncertainty and discoveries, vulnerability and renewed confidence, fear and delight. It is a time of learning which involves small failures on the way to big accomplishments. As the saying goes, you can't learn to ride a bike without falling off first. And maybe, you're in a part of the learning zone where it involves big failures on the way to a bunch of small accomplishments, or one small accomplishment, or, a stagnant period, but it's all good. Oh, dang it. Now I have to do this over again. Alright, ignore that last little blip. I will learn how to edit it. So we're in the learning zone. We're not in another zone, so I don't have to see, that's my deal. It's like, oh, but it's okay. Or, oh, but it's something this or something that. It's part of my mental. Please forgive me. Thank you. Eventually, with time, patience, and consistency, after you learn to ride the bike, consistent effort, the new experiences of the learning zone become familiar and mastered, and thus the comfort zone grows to include these experiences or activities. Unfortunately, it is fear of failure that can keep people stuck in a comfort zone, that has become too small. Another reason people avoid entering the learning zone is to avoid getting too close to the panic zone. In the panic zone, there is the feeling that one is in danger, and the fight, flight, freeze response comes into effect to deal with the threat. A person feels that they must escape the danger or the threat of danger by responding aggressively, running from it, or hiding from it. Survival becomes the priority, and growth or learning is no longer possible. Until you practice for a long time. The threat in the panic zone may be real, but it is more often a perceived threat that is not actually dangerous. But definitely it may be real. Imagine someone with common fear of public speaking who steps out to the podium and begins to feel overwhelmed by fear and has an urge to run off the stage. This person has entered the panic zone. Staying there and acting from the panic zone will have less than favorable results, but thankfully it is not the only option. This person that's in the panic zone can return to the learning zone. They can take a deep breath and remind themselves that they're not in danger and go on with their big speech. He will still be uncomfortable and nervous, and his speech may not be the best ever delivered. However, when it's all over, they'll have accomplished something new and expanded their comfort zone, even if it's just a little bit. So how do we make sure that we stay in the learning zone and out of the panic zone? There are many ways to ensure that new growth experiences feel safe and productive. One is to make sure that you have support and ask for help. This could mean getting encouragement from people who care about you. Could. But it doesn't have to. We can also be strong and do things as best as we can, even though we're not perfect. Just kind of muddle along, and things get clearer as we go. It's truth. And if people don't like it, well, I'm trying to be PG about this. So it could mean getting encouragement by people who care about you if you need that, or want it, or have it available. And it could mean requesting the input of a counselor or mentor. Another way is to take breaks from the learning zone by going into the comfort zone. And small exposures to the new experiences balanced with familiar and comforting activities will keep you from becoming overwhelmed. And trust that there's people out there that will do everything possible to make sure that you don't get into your comfort zone, because anybody else, some people are whacked out, and this is from my personal experience, so this is testimony. It's got nothing to do with this piece of paper. This is testimony and experience from being in the group and experiencing the social pressures that are exerted on people, as they, not just experiencing them myself, but watching them in action, experiencing the uncontrolled social pressures that are exerted in order to influence people and force them and pressure them out of the group. And I did eventually be pressured out of the group because it became a dangerous place for my dog, who has to go with me everywhere because it's not safe for him to stay at home. So I just want to add that yep, going into your comfort zone if you don't have any support is definitely the way to do it. And there's going to be just a whole bunch of people, if you're in that situation where you're a targeted individual like me, then there's going to be a whole bunch of people that just try and consistently push you out of your comfort zone, because not ever being able to get in your comfort zone, of course, affects us physically and causes de-stress. So figure that everything that I'm teaching has also been weaponized. Well, I'm not teaching. I'm not a teacher. In fact, skill as a teacher. I'm good at being hated. Then everybody tries to do stuff better than me. So my comeback to that is just to try and, you know, do stuff like this, even though I'm completely targeted and isolated. So if you find yourself in a completely targeted and isolated situation, this is great stuff. Great stuff. But keep in mind, as you learn stuff, that the criminal element of life that are basically kind of like mental, they just have no ethics or something. I don't know what the deal is. I'm not supposed to make judgments, so screw it. I've definitely committed my share of crimes too. Yep. Peace on that. Karma that I work on making up every single day for decades, along with trying not to be a mental person. And it's been nice. Like, I quit smoking cigarettes. I got freedom from cigarettes, like, when I was pregnant. Oh, there's a spider over there. And that was like 25 years ago, 26 years ago, a long time ago. You're like, how can you not remember how? Well, I won't talk to anybody. Much of anybody. Talk to maybe one or two people. So yeah, man, I'm not popular. But donky donk. Well, I already watched it. Live. Thank you, though. Alright. Then I'm gonna have to cook some food for my puppy here in a minute. Back to reading. So, into your comfort zone. Your guarded and secure comfort zone. So, how do you make sure you stay in the learning zone and out of the panic zone? There are many ways to ensure that new growth experiences feel safe and productive. Oh, we already went through that. So, comforting activities will keep you from becoming overwhelmed. Also, maintaining awareness of your physical condition and mindset, pretty key, will let you know when you're getting close to the panic zone. Like the example of the man giving the speech, he used mindfulness techniques and skills to reassure himself, I'm not in danger, and took deep breaths to ground himself so that he could return to the learning zone and go on with his speech. A satisfying and fulfilling life spends plenty of time in the growth zone, which allows for an ever-expanding comfort zone. And all that's true. And as far as the deep breath, I mean, yeah. There's got to be like a shut up with the breathing, because it doesn't make a difference, and yet it does make a difference. Because I'll just say, for one thing, as far as I'm aware from like my pathology stuff, is like cancers are anabolic. That means that cancer doesn't like it doesn't like oxygen. And so when you take deep breaths and just visualize it going everywhere in your body, it really does help. Honest truth. And I've had quite a bit of experience with near-death experiences, long-term and both chronic and acute. So acute means like an instant crisis, like car wreck or you almost get killed. And chronic is like something that you deal with in a long-term basis, like you know, like diabetes or you know, any of those like stomach things and back pain and stuff like that. Those are chronic, and acute is like accidents. Oh, Fred, I just chopped my finger with a knife or whatever. Oh. Sorry. So, that's that for the introduction. Thank you very much. You that don't exist, and me